Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 17 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So I'm actually gonna put this episode into two parts, just one recording session into two parts, so yeah. Constable Rolly beats, sir. Nothing to put on the streets, sir. He's back to sleep. I'm Mrs. B. Patricia's my name. Proud to say this young man, town hero's wife. Hero? What's the story here? Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day. No, it was your husband I was talking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare day offs, our gallant officers charge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights. There are a number of items on the list that don't sound much like police duties at all. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd collapse long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat? That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly? A constable Rolly Beat, saw. Nothing burned on the streets, saw. What a great witness he's going to be. Very good. I'd like to hear formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw in the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly's taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over course and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dog. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day. Okay. Wow, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternate course of events that established in the summation examination will be squashed. It's death snail, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate be chancing on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for an evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed, however. This cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. And not preamble, counsel for the defense, commence with cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for stopping young men only. Women, children, and elderly can't even apply. Well, I think you can probably see why children and elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Rolly ever looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling? Oh boy. What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking to sleep? This is creepy. Oh no, Raleigh, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Yeah, I know, right? It doesn't really look like a good relationship to me. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, Sa. Yes, although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending a whole day on my feet. But police is my life, Sa. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and the queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, Sa, proof that I'm a London copper. It was the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold this peace of the common man. Sa! And for such a noble cause, they cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plotting on my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then. But Sa! Just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up a lot being married to the Bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, perhaps. Oh boy, they have to see them like all the time now because they're witnesses. And then kindly describe what happened next.
Hold it!
Walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim's picture in this print, unlike Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby. Oh yes, quite certain it was dark, but there were streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all, isn't that right, my darling? You have to wake him up every single time. What? Yes, I'm sorry. Of course there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road was dead straight. You could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then just streetlighting as well. I didn't see any pedestrians. Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. B. Are you quite sure of what you just said? Yes, sir. The couple are okay. They're still on their honeymoon pace, it seems. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened. It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He put the scene all too convincingly. Okay. I'm just gonna keep pressing her because the policeman's just sleeping. Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when I got closer, I realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Huh, what? Yes, sir. It was some old books. I see, old books. Yes, saw. The culprit dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, a scary picture in this photographic print. I still want to know what the title of those books are on the ground in the picture. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw it was the man in the dog without question, saw. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the tall mouth, the snub nose, everything. Any more insults you want to throw in? That's right, look down at the poor defenseless woman with those terrifying intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books on the pavement and ran away. I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. And now please, continue.
Hold it!
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm a private wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? Oh boy, we have to see this every time. What? Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. B. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't exactly on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. I ran there quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple not working together, you know? And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved, the actions of two model citizens. Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling? I hate these two already. It's so annoying. Yes, so. Patricia said so. Let's move on, shall we? Okay. Why are you doing that to him? Stop doing that. Right. The light from the stairmaster was more than enough. My husband already told me that the fog was already light, didn't he? Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for our constant blow, I believe. But it's the opposite menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh boy. Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see? So I can tell you for sure and certain that was the little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? Oh my god, stop shaking your husband. Just stop it. What? Oh my freaking god. Okay. As far as the couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki San they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it then? That's their entire testimony? What do you think, Miss Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Speed saw what they say they saw, and Mr. Natsume running away for the scene on BR Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So that's true, where does it leave us? The members of the jury should have called for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no, what do we do? Kazuma-sama were here. What are you trying to say? I think you were trying to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony. What do you mean somewhere else? Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you can identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them to make the jury doubt the pair's memory of the day is accurate. Alright. Put simply, we must focus on finding discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Ugh, why do I always seem to be so up against it? Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? Oh, yes, of course, what is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions of everything we told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Is it? Well, out with it. What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like... Oh, I know, what about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. I could, every single one. Oh, tell us the titles, please. And stop shaking your husband. That will do, Mrs. B. No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. And even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, I don't think for a minute that Raleigh will. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you'd like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. B. Might that appease you? Please drop your husband. Oh, thank you, my lord. That was subtle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? Oh my god. This is so... Okay, what was the books? Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He worked ever so hard, you know, ever so hard, don't you, my darling? Why would you leave her husband in the snow sleeping there? Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime by passing out on the snow. Well, Mrs. Beat, seems as if you regaled the court with tales about your powers of recollection. Would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene? I'd be happy to. Now, are y'all listening? Yes, you have our apt attention. There's a picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it, earrings? Then there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the thin gummies something. You see? Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory. Oh well, they're along those lines, I'm quite sure. There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as he put it. Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Well, I mean, the only mean person here is you. Oh my god. Okay, put the gun down? Anyone who says I put you out there at me to answer to. Terrifying. Yes, she really is. So that's it. Okay. We'll just skip over this, and then I will present some evidence on that last statement, because I'm pretty sure the book titles are different. So I'll just do that.
Objection!
So you're saying that there were 4 books. That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it, earnings, blah blah blah. I'm sorry, Mrs. Speed, but there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no, what flaw? Somebody died at the scene of the crime. There are only 3 books, not 4. What? This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant brought his books. Your books? Yes, and the details must not in his purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you, 4 dirty old books. Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. There are only 3 books. But I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear I saw them. Stop shaking your husband. No, madame. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. Grr. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no.
Objection!
It's plainly evident that is your powers of deduction cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well in the hope of disproving that. So you strive to divert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has summary code against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife, and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Oh. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene of Braille Road, a total of 4 books are most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only C3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say... Allow me to present another one that shows the victim's hand. Ooh, new evidence. Let's look at it later. It's all burnt up. I don't believe it. Why is it all burnt up? As you all observe, the fourth book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No. No! Oh my god, maybe the burnt book was in the freaking maid's apartment, right? There, you see? Look at that, look! Yes. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Speed, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. Picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. Lots of yearnings. Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Gaboriau, in fact. Sorry, I botched up that name. As the chorus just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Speed's powers of recollection are to be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman gave me a compliment. Yes, flawless, Patricia's flawless. Okay, but there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Speed mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, Constable, but that does not seem odd. Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? Because he didn't buy it. It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, but why is it burned, and what happened to the 4th book? Obviously, it was overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. Give it here. Let's see it. My pleasure, my lord. Alright, we got some new evidence. So let's look at it. Okay, court record. The Lion's Pride? Isn't that the, what was his name? The guy's books? Because he likes lions. What was that guy's name? Yeah, isn't it John Garrett's books? So, oh my god. So while they were fighting, did she like throw all the books outside? Oh my god. Her show's like 34. Oh wow, he's older than 6. Oh my god. Okay. Oh wait. I should check out this one too. Yeah, The Lion's Pride. Oh my god, it's all burnt. It's from Gardev's. It's from the Gardev household, isn't it? You're right. You never be able to read in this state, especially not the later pages. What a terrible waste. Judging for the scorched edges of paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book. Received damage to fire. Why does it seem to raise a red flag at me? It's Gardev's book. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So wouldn't it be something I heard? Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I've heard a book by the name before, very recently too. It's Gardev's book. Oh my god. How did it get thrown to the streets? The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked into this, didn't I? You see, everything you said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat. Marry me, Matt. You guys are already married. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions, should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty. Or is the decision you had to make all too apparent already? You have heard all the witnesses and seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mrs. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, it could very well just make matters worse. Think, your instinct. Think. What do you do now? Wait, raise an objection.
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. The last cross-examination is your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as I'm concerned, but... Arg, I can't think of what to say. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you have to forgive me, but I consider my assistance, advice essential, and your opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruhodo. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, the court will hear you, madame. Go ahead, Mrs. Sato, please. Yeah, go ahead, Sato. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Mrs. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Yeah, we just examined it. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mrs. Sato. This is it. Mrs. Sato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked. This one.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The force book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
You have already discussed the force book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid counsel must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel, who identified this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Yes, my lord, it's, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe that the prosecutor is trying to avoid a thorough examination of evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track. Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where the vital clue in this case, which is the force book conceals the burn mark.
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious, it's burned to crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why is the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for it to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh, Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damages some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this chart book hide? A chart book. There's just one possibility here which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Kazuo. Explain this theory, bros. What are you suggesting? That you could assert in front of the fire damage sorry Thomas suffered. Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of the book reveals the startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim's gripping her hand and she found the verdict. It was obviously hers. No, she probably picked it up. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hands is yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how could you possibly? Very well, play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demands. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Kazuo! The defense's response is very likely to influence the final outcome of the trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? Garda!
Take that!
The poor dude! The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who owned the house to the defendant has lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garda. The landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garda herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Garda's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if we just dropped the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you seen this book in Mr. Garda's house? I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garda's house. Good lord! A fire, my lord. The lion's pride. By Jove, the very same title of the subject is this debate. Oh dear me. This is risible. All you told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in the fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if we told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garda was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garda even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! Can't imagine being so hard to one you love, can you, Rolly? I don't know, you've been shaking your husband for a while. The man is back up against the window and had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of the Miss Garda's window pane being broken. It was probably an open window, because there was a freaking fire! They probably opened the window! But it's not conceivable the windows open at time and not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. Well, there was a fire, so they would have opened the window to let the smoke out. Does the defense possibly deny in all seriousness the council? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Carter's wife? Yes. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a liar, but just a coward, a mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tip set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly, implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake, how could you? It has nothing to do with this basic case, not on any of it. All you've done is sully your family's name. No, I assure that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. Why are you hitting that guy? I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here listening to Sneepany spouting out fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly stab the victim is a little hunchback with the mustache, and he ran away from the scene too. I do declare right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Huh? Sorry? What's that? Well, it would appear to the ladies and gentlemen that the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Banksley? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessary protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the Force book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them in your own time. What, no forgive the discourtesy this time? Yep, he isn't gonna say it.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Oh boy, do I have to do summation examination again? Alright. I wouldn't mind listening to the theme again. That's twice now, it's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Mrs. Sato, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting... Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You can still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense, asked to exercise his right to summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. To be continued. Oh, I think this will be it for part 15. I'm gonna continue recording part 18. So yeah, thank you so much for watching part 17 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. See you guys next time.